Hey, how's it going everyone? MLT Magic Tricks here. So in this video, I'm going to be performing and then teaching you this really awesome card trick that only uses 5 cards. This card trick is definitely going to amaze all of your spectators. But before we get into it, if you are new here to the channel, make sure you subscribe with those notifications on for more card trick videos like this. And also check out the link in the description to my Amazon page, where I have a collection of all the decks I use in my videos, along with a variety of magic tricks and accessories. But now let's get right into this performance. Okay, so I would start off this trick by having my spectator shuffle the deck as much as they want. Once they are done, I would explain to my spectator that for this trick, we are going to be using 5 cards only, and 4 of the 5 cards are going to be some face cards. So I'm going to take out the 2 red queens, and then the 2 red kings as well, the king of diamonds and the king of hearts. So we have our 4 face cards right here, and the 5th card is going to be a card that my spectator chooses. So they do have a free selection. Let's say my spectator chooses this card. In this case, their selection is going to be the 6 of hearts. So we're going to take these 5 cards. We're going to begin with the spectator's card right here, the 6 of hearts, and we're just going to place this card on top and place the 6 of hearts on the table. So that leaves us with the 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards in my hand right here. We're going to begin by taking the queen of hearts right here, and we're also going to use the other red queen, the queen of diamonds, and place the 6 of hearts face down in between the 2 queens on the table, and that leaves us with the 2 kings in my hand right here. We'll go ahead and just place those cards on the table right there. Now we're going to go back to these 3 cards, the 2 queens and my spectator selection. We're going to square these 3 cards up. We're going to outjog our spectator's card right here, the 6 of hearts, and we're actually going to try something pretty cool with my spectator selection. I'm just going to flick down on the card, and something pretty impossible should happen. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. I'm going to flick down on the card like that, and as you can see, the 6 of hearts changes into the 2 kings. And now my spectator selection should be this face down card right here, the 6 of hearts. So guys, that is the trick. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to learn how to perform it, make sure you watch the tutorial. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that performance. This is a very powerful card trick that is certainly going to fool your spectators. So grab your deck of cards and let's jump right into the tutorial. So this is technically a no setup trick. You start off by having your spectator shuffle the deck. You ask for the cards back. You take out your face cards, and then you have your spectator choose a selection as the 5th card, and then you go on from the trick from there. But there is a little setup that you need to do once you take out the face cards, so I'm going to explain that right now. So there are a couple scenarios that you can do when you take out face cards. You can take out 4 of face cards from 1 value. So I took out the 4 kings. You could also take out the 4 jacks or the 4 queens. If you do it this way, these cards need to be separated by color when you're doing the setup. So I have the 2 red kings on top, followed by the 2 black kings. You can also have the 2 black kings on top, followed by the 2 red kings. They cannot, though, be interlaced. You cannot have it like this. Just have them separated by color. So that's one way you can do it. Or you can play around with your face card suits. So you can have 2 face cards from 1 value and then 2 face cards from another value. Just make sure these 2 have the same color suit along with the other 2. So I could have the 2 red jacks, and then I could also take out the 2 red queens if I wanted to, or the 2 black queens like I have here. Just don't have like a jack of hearts and then a jack of clubs, and then followed by another 2 black queens like this. It doesn't look as good. So you can do something like this. You can do it that way or this way. So just play around with your 4 face cards, though. Just make sure you do have them separated, but 2 and 2. You can have them separated by color if you have all the same value, or you have them separated by value if you're just doing 2 different value face cards. So I hope that makes sense for the setup. You guys can play around with it, but either way, I'm just going to stick with this setup for the tutorial, and everything's the same though during the performance of the trick. So once you have your face cards taken out, you got your setup done, and then you're gonna have your spectator choose a card as the 5th card. So that's going to be their selection. They do have a free choice. Let's say they take out this card right here, and in this case we have the 9 of spades. So you're going to place your spectator's card on top of the pack. So this is how I have it set up. and you're going to tell them, okay, we're going to take your card. As you're pointing at the card and showing it to them, you're going to get a little pinky break below the face card here that's on top. You're going to place the card right on top of it. You're going to lift up the two cards so you have a grip now with their selection and one of the face cards right behind it. You're going to flip over these three cards, place these two on top, and tell your spectator, okay, we're going to place your selection on the table. They think you're placing that 9 of spades face down on the table, but in reality, you're placing a face-up card, and that 9 of spades stays on top of the pack. From here, you're going to count off these 4 cards, and you're going to basically reverse count them, but there is one little subtlety that you need to pay attention to when you're counting off the cards, and I'll explain that right now. So you're going to go, we have 1, 2, 3. Those 3 cards go on top of each other, one after another, and then when you get to this final card, this one needs to go in between this top card and this middle card. So once you count them off, you're going to slide this one over a little bit and place this last card right in between this top and middle like that. So you can do this, show that you have 2 and 2, square up the cards, and you're good to go. At this point, this is what you should have. You should have their selection on the bottom and then your 3 face cards like this. So if you do it this way, these 2 need to have the same color, and then you have your other mismatched one in between them. So at this point, you're ready to move on with the trick. I hope that made sense. I'll go over it one more time later in the tutorial. You can also rewatch what I just said there if you want to. But at this point, once you're in this setup, obviously don't turn over the cards. You just keep them face down. This is all going to be happening pretty quick in the performance. From here, you're going to tell your spectator, okay, we're going to take this top face card here, the Queen of Clubs in this case. As you're saying that, you're going to get a little pinky break below the next top card. You're going to place that face card directly on top of the one you have a pinky break below. You're going to lift up these 2 cards, so they're going to be back to back. You're going to, obviously don't do that, don't turn it over, I'm just showing you guys here. So your spectator thinks this is one card, you're going to push over the next card, and this is going to be the other black queen, the Queen of Spades. You're going to flip it over, tell your spectator, okay, we're going to take these 2 cards and place your selection in between them, but in reality, this is what you have. You got the back-to-back packet right here, there, this other face-up card, which is a single. So you have these 3 cards, and you're going to place this card, which is a face-up card. It's the other red jack, the Jack of Diamonds. This is going to go right in the middle of these cards. So you have 2 face-up cards here, and this card is going right below them like that. So your spectator thinks there's only 3 cards here, and their selection is sandwiched in between these 2 black queens. But in reality, what you have here is their selection now left in your hand, and you got your 4 face cards on the table. So you really want your spectator to think that you're holding the 2 red jacks here. So you can kind of place your hand over it, covering the front so your spectator doesn't see this is only 1 card. You need to make it believable you have 2 face cards in your hand right now. So you're going to tell your spectator, okay, we're going to place the 2 jacks on the table, but in reality, this is their card. So just set it down. Really make your spectator think this is 2 cards. So just, you set it down casually like that. Tell your spectator, okay, we're going to go to these 3 cards that we have on the table, but in reality, this is 4. Your spectator still thinks this is their selection. Be very careful when you're picking up these cards. You don't just want to pick them up lackadaisically like that, or you'll accidentally flash the face-up card you have behind this one. So you need to be very careful. So push down on this these 2 cards like this. Square them up carefully. You're going to tell your spectator, okay, we're going to square up these cards. So you square up the 4. So now you have this setup right here, 2 face down cards, and then your 2 face cards that are matching, the 2 black queens in this case. Keep everything square. And the last move that you're going to do is you're going to hold this packet of 4 either in your right or left hand. I like to hold it in my right hand, so I have my thumb on the bottom, middle finger on top in this top right corner. And all you're doing is coming over with your other hand and you're pinching the middle and back of these cards, and you're going to slide out this little pack of 2, and they're going to stay together. So now you have 2 cards together as one, like so. So one more time. You guys can practice this move and get pretty comfortable with it. You're going to pinch and you're going to slide out this packet of 2, and your spectator thinks this is just 1 card. The last move, you're going to do a little flick. You're going to flick down on these 2 cards. Tell your spectator, okay, I'm going to flick down on your selection. And once you flick down, I would hold this pack around 4 inches or so from the table. You're going to need to practice this move, flick down like that. And if you do it correctly, the 2 cards will reveal themselves face up on the table. It just makes it seem like their selection instantly changed into these 2 face-up cards, and then you reveal that this face down card right here is actually their selection. If you do everything clean in the performance, you move through it pretty quickly, they will be completely confused, and it just has a very powerful end effect. So I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to run through the steps quickly one final time, just so you guys know what to do. So you have your face up setup. Spectator, they memorize their card, get a little break. You're taking the two cards, placing them on top. You're placing down their selection, but in reality, you're placing down a face card. From here, you reverse count the cards 1, 2, 3. Remember, this final card goes in between these top two ones like this. So you get in position to do this. Tell your spectator you lift up this first face-up card, in this case, the Jack of Diamonds. You get another pinky break below this topmost card. You get these cards back to back. You reverse the next one. It's going to be the other red Jack. These two cards need to match. Now you have 3 cards here. Tell your spectator, okay, we're going to get your selection placed in between these two face-up cards, but in reality, their selection is in your hand, and you have all 4 face cards on the table. Tell your spectator, okay, we have the 2 black queens right here. You really need to make this 1 card seem like 2. Place it down on the table. You go over here, you square up the 3 cards, but in reality, you're squaring up 4. Then you do the last move like this, where you're pinching down on the pack like this. You move this block of 2 as 1 card kind of to the top right corner or top left, depending on how you're holding it. You do the little flick, and their selection appears to change instantly into the 2 face cards, and their card is the only face-up one on the table. So that is the trick. This one is a little bit more on the advanced side, but definitely practice it. Give it a try. It has a very powerful effect and will fool all your spectators. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next one. Peace out.